Talking the all new TaylorMade high toe 4 wedges now with Matt Bovee. And Matt, first of all, what's your excitement level about these new wedges?
I'm through the roof. I have such a soft spot for high toe for a lot of reasons, but just the high toe line and the advantages it gives to players compared to a more traditional line like our MG products. I think it's worth taking a look at, and I think we got some options for better players. It's going to make them look twice.
So before we get into the specifics of the high toe 4, just on a general basis, you just mentioned it there. What are the advantages of using a high toe wedge versus, say, another wedge?
So the high toe family is known for having a little bit larger face area and a full face groove or score line. That's going to be predominantly in your weaker lofted or higher lofted wedges. And what that allows you to have is really you're going to get more consistent spin regardless of your impact location. So a lot of times with your wedges, right? If you're going to open up the face, you're going to hit a flop shot. The impact location works up the toe. And if you've ever caught one out on the toe where there's no grooves, you know that you're going to sacrifice spin. On top of that, the high toe family being a little bit larger face, it just instills confidence in players. Like I feel it. Worked with a lot of different consumers, and we've done some insight studies on that. We know that they appreciate and they look to the high toe family to give them more confidence. And let's face it, when you have confidence executing shots or over the ball, you're going to execute more regularly. If you get tentative, that's when things start to get a little dicey.
You're certainly right about that. So you mentioned the size of the face, the look of this product. How has that changed from high toe 3?
So not a ton of changes from an address position. There's some subtleties with offset, how much leading edge radius the blend there is. But it's got a larger face area similar to high toe 3. The biggest changes with this come in the terms of the face technology. We've added spin treads to the high toe 4 family. So if you don't know what that is, that's also on our MG line. It's where we use a laser engraving process to put a micro texture on the raw face. There's so many buzzwords in right there's a mouthful. Essentially what it does is it gives you more consistent spin in wet and dry conditions. Think of it like your tires on a car. Your treads exist to be able to give water a place to go, and so it doesn't get between the tire and the road. Same thing with a club face. If moisture gets between the ball and the wedge face, you're going to lose spin, and without spin you're going to have inconsistent carry distances and inconsistent stopping power. If you're playing any shots in the morning, whatever, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to have just rained. There's a little bit of moisture on the ball. There's dew. We want to make sure players are getting consistent performance. That's what our raw face does, and that's enhanced with our spin tread technology. Now on high toe 4, as everyone has loved it on the MG4 line.
So, Matt, pretty much what you're saying is regardless of the time of day you're playing, whether it's in the morning dew at 7 a.m. or going out for a late 9 when it's dry at 7 p.m., the spin tread technology will help the consistency of your wedges regardless of the time of day. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's designed to minimize the effects that moisture has on your ball flight and your spin. Again, raw face and spin treads, that's what they're designed to do. And we're seeing players benefit from that performance.
So we always see players on tour talking about playing their wedges with maybe lower launch and higher spin. And with the high toe
Mhm.
4, that really has become a reality, hasn't it?
That's part of High Toe's identity. From the first one that we came out with, part of the design concept here is with a taller face, yes, you get more face area, you have the longer grooves, all the things, but you also move the center of gravity higher in the club head. And when you do that, it's going to come out with a lower trajectory while delivering maximum spin. High CG equals low trajectory and high spin. Now, better players, tour players, they can control their wedge flight very easily. And being able to flight it down, you want to be within a certain window. You definitely want to be below 30 degrees, right? That's how you become a consistent wedge player. The amateur player, specifically as you work in sort of the mid handicap range, a lot of us, I know I'm guilty of this, you add loft at impact and your launch angle goes up. What you want is something that's not going to be as affected by the wind, and you're just going to have more consistent wedge play if you can get that trajectory down. High toe helps deliver that for the player because the center of gravity is higher. You can see in this image right here, you can see where all the mass lives up here in this toe pad. We pulled it out of actually that heel pocket and shifted it here. Oh, that's kind of like a whoop, to be able to give you that high center of gravity and drive that launch angle down.
Oh, there's a lot of really cool information there. And that continues with the detail of these products and the grind options here. Do I have this correct, Matt? 5 different grind options?
5 grind options. Yep.
Okay, so
So
so maybe if you could tell us a little about each of them and how would someone know which grind is for them?
definitely, you got to check out our website's a great place to get educated about the
Right.
different grinds. So the way that this is going to work is we wanted to add more versatility into high toe four and have more options for your different types of conditions and lies. So it starts with the ATS. This is our standard grind. It's a great all-around grind. This is a good go-to for anyone. Four-way camber. You can manipulate the club face. It's right in that mid bounce range. From there, we go into ATV, which you may remember from TaylorMade. That's a good, again, it's a great all around wedge, but that wedge, the middle of the sole basically has a recessed sort of area that's been kind of carved out. It allows the leading edge to get under the ball quickly and then move through the turf very quickly before the bounce engages on the trailing edge. So that's better for someone who's kind of got like a neutral angle of attack, a little bit more shallow. And then you get into the ATC grind. This is a traditional C grind with some differences on the trailing edge. Again, more information on the website. This is a low bounce option. So if you have more of a shallow angle of attack, you don't take a big divot, or you're playing off tight turf, this is a great option. A lot of heel and toe relief to be able to give you versatility in there too. We have a new grind coming out, the ATX grind. This uses 3 different planes, so it's got a little bit of a leading edge chamfer to it, which protects it from digging. And it looks like it's a wider sole, plays like a wider sole out of the bunker, but because of how the trailing edge is designed, it stays in that mid bounce range off the turf and in a square face full shot. Really excited about the ATX grind. I'm so pumped that that's in the lineup. I found a lot of success with it early on for me as it's gone in my bag. And then finally, the ATW. This is going to stand for it's a little bit of a wider sole. This is a good option for anybody that's steep, has a deeper divot, or might not have a lot of confidence out of the bunkers. This is going to help prevent the club from digging. It's a good up and out solution for anyone that struggles there. So you really got the full gamut from low bounce to high bounce with a couple mid bounces in there, new grind options, a lot to check out, and definitely worth taking a look at in the high toe four lineup.
High Toe 4 simply has it all. Now, Matt, before we wrap here, what kind of feedback have you received from players on tour?
So working with the tour players, we've seen some really good early testing. Tommy Fleetwood is a go-to high toe player. He loves it in the 52, a little bit larger face area, transitions out of his irons, but he likes the trajectory. We're doing some testing with Colin and the other players as well. So feedback early has been great. Again, the ATV and the ATX grind getting some looks. So I'm really excited to get into the end of this season and certainly into next season as these players start to gear up for 2025.
So many great options with the High Toe 4 wedge. Matt, can't wait to put it in the bag. And thanks so much for your time today.
I appreciate you having me on.